we are going to get it to properly jump. Right then guys, you join me at the SMMT day, which is essentially a day where a number of manufacturers get together and offer up all of their recent new models. I am in the new Mini John Cooper Works. I think that's its full name and title. Essentially it's Mini's latest Cooper turned up to 11. I think they start at £31,500 in the UK. This particular press car is a level 3, so that's a £5,500 package essentially. Brings it up to almost 37 grand on the road. It's a lot of money for a Mini, but as we know, 2025, cars are getting expensive. Let's see if it's worth almost 40 grand. The level 3 is the top spec version. Basically comes with all of the options. If you're going for the lower spec level 1, you're not only saving 5 or 6 grand, you're probably saving some weight as well and getting a more driver focused version. We're going to go around, I think they call it the hill route, the Alpine route, I don't know. It's quite a nice little route to drive a car around, get an idea of suspension handling, and yeah, just ride quality in general. There's a lot of bumps and stuff along the route, kind of replicates a UK road, especially today as this lovely FL5 Civic Type R flies past. Now, we talked about this being expensive at 36, 37 grand. Well, the Type R, although I don't think it's on sale anymore, that's a 50 grand hot hatch. So yeah, and Audi's RS3, what's that, 70 odd grand. But anyway, I'm going off on a tangent. What's this car like? Well, firstly, in terms of styling on the outside, I really like the, can we still call it new Mini Cooper styling? It's unmistakably a Mini. It doesn't seem to have grown too much since the previous generation. And I really like the rear lights and stuff. It looks newer and noticeably different to the outgoing model, but it doesn't look radically different. What has changed, and for the better in my opinion, is the interior. It's a really funky interior. I love all the fit and finish, and although the plastics and stuff in here aren't of a really high quality, it just all comes together really well. It's a fun place to sit, and I think, to me at least, that's what Minis have always been about, is the fun factor. You should always get in a Mini, and before you even drive it, it should put a smile on your face, because they should be quite funky to look at and quite funky to live with. We need to turn that sound bong off, or whatever it is. There we go. Hold down the set button on the majority of Minis and BMWs, and that will deactivate the speed limit warning, which is bonging at me the second I go over 30 miles an hour, and that's just not right. This is a private road, by the way, so when we do the second lap in a minute and I pick the pace up a little bit, don't be too alarmed, although they do have speed limits in place today. So aside from its looks and its funky interior, this one's got plenty of light because it's got the 2 sunroofs, which is really nice. Driving position feels pretty good. I'm 6'4", I've got plenty of headroom, even with my hat on, and it feels quite spacious in here. Obviously, Minis, as we know it today, are more like Maxis. There's plenty of room in here because they are quite big cars on the outside. Talking about being big, this weighs 1,400 kilos, so it's definitely no lightweight anymore. But in today's world of, well, my M5 Touring, that's 2.5 tons. Well, this is just over half the weight of my M5 Touring, but you would expect that. What have we got under the bonnet? We've got a B48, which is a 2-litre, 4-cylinder turbocharged unit. It's the same lump that's in a lot of BMWs and Minis. In fact, it's the same lump that's in the current M135i and M235i. In this car, it's producing 228 horsepower, and it's linked up to, I believe it's an 8-speed automatic gearbox, Thankfully, in this car, not that I've used them yet, it has paddles, and I think paddles are standard on all of the John Cooper works. I jumped in one of these this time last year at the SMMT day. It was a Cooper S, and that car didn't have paddles, and it was really frustrating and annoying, especially on this hill route, because as soon as you pushed on, well, the gearbox was deciding what gear it wanted to be in. It wasn't giving me the choice, and I don't want that. I think it has a claimed 0 to 62 time, in fact I know it does, of 6.1 seconds, and I'm sure it would be quicker than that, but it's a front wheel drive car, and front wheel drive cars are definitely not designed or set up for drag racing or getting to 60 miles an hour quickly. They are limited very much by the wheel and tyre size, and I think this is only running 215 section rubber, front and rear, so it doesn't have a massive amount of mechanical grip. But again, that's what you want in your Mini, even your John Cooper works. You want it to start moving around when you really start pushing on. Let's just change the experience. I don't really, although the switchgear down here looks good, it's very cheap to feel, very plasticky. So let's come up through all of these modes. Let's now put it into go-kart. And I guess if I just pull a paddle, it feels like it's stiffened up a little bit, but I'm not sure if I've just imagined that because I've put it into go-kart mode. I have to say this display is pretty funky and pretty cool. There's lots going on there. Thankfully, I've got a head-up display so I can actually see the main information I want, like speed, speed limit. We've even got a fuel gauge. I'm sure that's all very configurable. It's a shame that Mini don't give you a full-on head-up display. They've still got this flip-up, which is a little bit of a half-assed attempt at head-up display. Let's push on a little bit through here. Try not to get in trouble. Feels really good. There's not the most steering feel in the world, and I think a lot of that is because this wheel is so fat. I think the BMW M department have been speaking to the Mini department and giving them some bad steering wheel advice. Why do they do that? I don't know. My theory is that it's actually the marketing department that decides these massively fat wheels are a good idea. And to me, it almost ruins the drive, which, apart from the wheel, I have to say, feels really good. Really fun little thing. I can feel it moving around even at these fairly sensible speeds. And it sounds all right, actually. The B48 in general is not the most sonorous of motors. In the M135i, it's always sounded a little bit tinny and not great. Whereas they've either done something with it, maybe the exhaust. This has got a single pipe out the back, although I think it has another pipe that exits the bottom that you can't see. Very weird. Maybe I'm getting that wrong. I think what we're hearing though is actually some synthesized sound through the speakers, which I'm not against if it improves the way it sounds, and it definitely does improve the way it sounds. We're just coming up here to the jump. I don't think they call it the jump, but see if we can get a little bit of air in this thing. So we've got to get through here nice and quickly. Yeah, moving around a bit on the brakes, right, let's go. Nice, a little bit of air there. Little bit of air. Are we gonna get a yellow flag? No. I think he thought about it. I saw him reaching for the flag. We'll do one more lap just to see what this is like when we push it a little bit further. I always like to work into it a little bit. The gearbox is not great. And I knew that that would be the case because the current M135i, the latest one that they launched about, must be a year ago now. Well, yeah, unfortunately, I think that car's weakest point is the gearbox, and unfortunately in this car, I have to say it's the same. On the way up, very quick, very responsive. On the way down, honestly, it's really not good. And I know when I tried the M135i, BMW said they were working on new software, working on improving it, but this is a brand new press car and there is definitely no improvements. I mean, we're in third gear now. If I pull that, it's just like a 2-second delay or something. Again, so fifth now, or fourth, sorry, third. Doesn't even give me second. It won't give me second at 45 miles an hour. Still not giving me second. There we go. But yet second is good for 52 miles an hour before you get to the red line. So it wouldn't give me it at 44, 45, yet I know that it's possible, if that makes sense. Anyway, let's push on. I'd like to turn the traction off in this thing, but I don't know where the traction button is, and I'm not gonna crash trying to find out. So let's just push on a little bit now. I mean, it feels, it feels fun. And I'm in no doubt that if I could turn the traction off, and if this was a track day, I could get it to rotate a little bit. It feels quite tail happy. See, I went for second there. It did give it to me eventually, but about 2 seconds after I asked for it. Okay, I can feel the traction control kicking in there. But you know what? It's a fun little car. It's a punchy little car. Do I want it to be any quicker? Probably not. Let's G it out down here. Suspension deals with everything very well. It is a little bit hard-edged. You're not going to jump in this and think that it's a regular Mini Cooper. You can definitely feel that the spring rates are stiffer. You can definitely feel that the tyres are really low profile. But compared to the last John Cooper Works that I drove 3 or 4 years ago, so the previous version, well, that car was pretty horrific on a typical UK road. And although this isn't strictly a UK road, it's very similar to what a UK road is like, as we talked about earlier on. So I'm actually quite impressed with the ride quality. There is some fake pops going on. And I'm sure if I delved into this, I could probably turn some of that off. But I've got to remember that, you know, this is maybe pitched at a younger, quite wealthy customer. But the bottom line is, it's a Mini. It should be putting a smile on my face, and it is. It's fun. We're going to get it to jump this time though. We are going to get it to properly jump. So we need to carry more speed through this right-hander at the bottom of this hill. Right, here we go. Let's carry as much speed through here as possible. Here we go. There we go, yellow flag. Job's a good one. Thank you, mate. He definitely did reach for it on the last attempt, but then almost let me off. Anyway, it's a fun car. It's definitely grown up a lot since the John Cooper Works of 2009, 2010. I don't know the generation. If Petrol Ped's watching this, he's probably going, that's a 52 or something, I don't know. But that one, that was really fun, a real riot. And in fact, yeah, the 2007-8, whatever it was, S was really fun. Things have moved on a long way since then, and this has grown up a long way. Has it grown up too much? In many ways, yes. But compared to lots of other cars that are out there and available today, it's still got that fun factor. Before we take this car back to base, I'm going to do a quick lap of the high-speed bowl. We are limited to 100-ish miles an hour. I think that's important because, especially if you're German, taking this car out on the Autobahn, or if you live in the UK and you sit at 70, 75, 80 miles an hour on the motorway. Let's just get up here. I'm not being a middle lane driver here, by the way. If we want to get near 100 miles an hour, we have to go in the 4th lane. We're not allowed in the 5th lane, we have to go in the 4th lane. Fun fact around here, I think if you're at 100 miles an hour in the outside lane, you can let go of the wheel and the car will not go up or down. And actually, well, this lane, yeah, you need to be doing about 70. Anyway, let's push on. So that's 80 miles an hour what most people would probably sit at in the UK. 80 mile an hour indicated, it's about 76, 77 miles an hour. Little bit of wind noise, but pretty good, pretty refined in here. Certainly no tyre roar or anything like that, just a little bit of wind noise. You'd expect that. Mini Coopers have got quite a steep windscreen, and that's probably what I'm hearing there. Let's pick the speed up a little bit now. That's 90. And there's 100 miles an hour. Again, super composed. I mean, you wouldn't believe me that I'm sitting at 99 miles an hour right now, because it is so composed. It's very chilled in here, very easy going. So let's slow it down, come right down into the inside lane, not that. Let's get out of that car's way. So slow it right down into lane 1. Let's just do a bit of a pull. So that's third. Won't give me second again, won't give me second. Wouldn't give me second then until 40 miles an hour. We know it'll do 52 in second. What is wrong with that gearbox? Anyway, so 30 miles an hour, I'll talk you through some numbers. Here we go. 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. There's 100 miles an hour. There's a little bit more than 100 miles an hour. Yeah, very capable. Very capable. 7 gears. I called it an 8-speed gearbox, didn't I? It's a 7-speed gearbox. Yeah, so 7th gear, I don't know what my RPM is because I can't really make any clarity of what I see in front of me here. That is just a lot of dials and stuff going on. But again, I'm in this car for 15, 20 minutes. If I owned it, I would understand a lot of that much easier, I'm sure. So my summary, it's a fun little car. There could be more feel through the wheel. I think a lot of that has to do with this rim. Why? Anyone from Mini watching this, please stop this. Don't copy BMW M. It's not a good move. For anyone that can drive, it's not a good move. Not a good look either, it just looks silly. The rest of the interior is really nice, but the wheel, no, stop it. Stop it. Look at Porsche, they make the best sports cars in the world, and their rims are nice and thin for a reason. They don't do it to save on materials, they do it because it gives you a lot more feel. In a day and age where everything, steering-wise, is electric, you need to give us a nice thin wheel, so at least we can extract some of that feel back, because otherwise we've got no hope. Right then guys, hopefully you enjoyed that one take video. Maybe I should get one of these and live with it for a week or two, and I'm sure I'll be able to uncover some more of its good and potentially not so good parts. But as a first drive, yeah, it's a fun car. Does it deserve the John Cooper Works badging? Probably, when you put it against the rest of the lineup. Is it as fun as the old car? Probably not. And I'm talking about the old car, the 2010-11 one. That was a proper fun bit of kit. It's a bit more grown up. But the flip side of that is, if you're living with this car, well, the ride quality doesn't appear to be horrific. It's relatively practical in here. In fact, yeah, with my driving position, you get small adults back there, definitely kids. If you're looking at this as like a small family car, obviously the boot's not particularly big. It's a nice place to be, and it kind of puts a smile on your face, even when it's a grey day outside. As always, thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Leave any comments and questions below, and I'll see you at another video very, very soon. Cheers. Why? Why is it so fat?